The best April Fool's joke this year came from Republic of Gamers. Can you believe it? They claim to have a pocket PC with Windows that can run any game. Get out of here. Would you have believed? Yet here it is, the ROG Ally in all its glory. Console, pocket PC, call it what you will, this toy from Asus has managed to blow me away. And now, 2 weeks after it hit the shelves, I decided it was time to revisit it and explore some of the lesser discussed aspects. With handheld gaming as its main function, you'd expect the ROG Ally to be quite weak. After all, what's the big deal about playing games at 720p on the move, right? Except this little beast runs Full HD at 120Hz, and a closer look at its specs reveals a different reality. Let's start with the processor, the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme. Even though it's a laptop chip disguised as a console CPU with integrated RDNA 3 graphics, the brain of the ROG Ally is actually incredibly powerful. In the Cinebench R23 test, at 30 watts mode, where the processor can run wild, the ROG Ally scored around 1800 points in single core and around 15,000 in multi-core. This places the portable processor in the same performance category as the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X. Except here, we're talking about a 30 watts consumption compared to the 100 plus watts sucked up by the desktop processor, and this is in a pocket format. With 8 cores, doubled by SMT for a total of 16 threads and a boost frequency of up to 5.1 GHz, the processor in the ROG Ally has just about everything it needs to handle gaming. The only major hurdle in the way of hundreds of frames per second is the graphics card, the solution integrated into this chip being the Radeon 780M. Just imagine how this configuration would perform if it had something like an RTX 3080 instead of the integrated Radeon, or even better, an Nvidia GeForce RTX 4090. Oh, how would that be? And the best part is that it's possible. Let me explain. You may have noticed either from online reviews or even from your own console, if you've already rushed out and bought an Ally, that at the top, next to the USB port, there's another strange connector. Well, that's the interface for the ROG XG Mobile. That's an adapter from PCI Express to whatever format this is, through which you can connect an external graphics card. It's not the first time we've seen something like this, as we've seen this XG Mobile interface on the ROG Flow X13 tablets, as well as on the ROG Flow X16 laptops. This means that if you already have such a laptop with one of these external graphics card modules, you'll be able to use it on the ROG Ally without any need for adapters or other improvisations. And you don't even need to have the 2023 model of this accessory. The ROG XG Mobile has been available since 2021. So we have 3 different versions of this device. The first generation that goes up to the RTX 3080 Mobile, the second generation dedicated to AMD that comes with features up to the Radeon RX 6850M XT, and the 2023 version that comes with a single graphics solution, the RTX 4090 from Nvidia. So if you want a much more powerful graphics card for your portable console, the ROG XG Mobile is an option to consider. You have up to the RTX 4090 laptop in a fairly small package, weighing only 1.3 kilograms and doubles as a dock for the ROG Ally. Through the proprietary connection, a box like this not only attaches a video card to the console or laptop, but it also considerably increases its connectivity. The XG Mobile module adds HDMI 2.1 and DisplayPort 1.4, a 2.5 gig Ethernet port for high-speed wired connection, 4 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, one of which is Type-C, and an SD card reader. Once you've connected an ROG XG Mobile module to a console like this, you've turned it into a full-fledged PC. And for today's experiment, that's exactly what we did. We took an ROG 4K resolution 120Hz refresh rate gaming OLED monitor, connected it to the ROG XG Mobile, connected the console to the module, then quickly added a mouse and a keyboard to see what comes out. You don't need to worry about the battery because the XG Mobile also serves as a charger for the Ally, so you basically use it as a dock for the console. And even though the XG Mobile is cool on laptops, I think in this console scenario it really fulfills its true purpose. The connection is super simple. Plug the brick with the video card into the socket, connect it to the XG Mobile interface on the ROG Ally, pull the button down to lock the cable in place, and that's the physical part done. A few clicks in Armoury Crate remain to finish initialization, after which you're ready to play. It's perhaps the simplest and fastest solution of this kind I've seen so far, so big kudos for Asus. The manufacturer probably saw an opportunity in developing such an external video card module a long time ago, and now it's reaping the rewards. But as cool as this thing is, it's just as expensive to adopt it. We know how much the ROG Ally costs. It comes in at around $650–700, a fair price for such a device. But what about the ROG XG Mobile with RTX 4090? Between $1,600 and $2,000. A high price, no matter how you look at it, but it remains an interesting option if you want to create an ecosystem with an ROG Flow laptop, such a console and a bomb video card dock that you can connect to both devices. And only from here, the investment begins to be worthwhile. And to have a term of comparison, I decided to also get a laptop, ideally another ROG, and ideally equipped with an RTX 4090 laptop video card to compare apples with apples. But don't think I did it just for the sake of the show, but mainly to see where the console with a video card attached to it stands when it competes with something somewhat similar. So I choose an ROG Strix Scar 17 with AMD Ryzen 9 7945HX and RTX 4090 laptop and got to work. First of all, I want to take a look at the results obtained by the ROG Ally with and without the external video card, so we know where we're starting from. It's worth mentioning that all tests were performed at the native screen resolution, which here is Full HD. Let's first see the results obtained without the burden called XG Mobile, that is, without the external video card. And these tests were done at the corresponding dedicated settings in the respective games. Cyberpunk 2077 with the graphics preset called Steam Deck obtained 34 FPS, followed by Forza Horizon 5 at high with 57 frames per second, and last but not least Horizon Zero Dawn on favorite performance settings, where Ally obtained 53 FPS. I redid the same tests with the ROG XG Mobile accessory and its NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090 laptop. And as you probably expect, the numbers we got are in another league compared to the initial results. In Cyberpunk 2077, we climbed from just 34 frames per second all the way up to 67. In Forza Horizon 5, we went from 57 to 122 frames per second, and in Horizon Zero Dawn, we jumped from 53 to 96 FPS. It's important to note, and this is very important, that in Cyberpunk 2077 and Horizon Zero Dawn, we saw a bottleneck created by the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor. This is simply too weak to handle a video card like the RTX 4090, even if this one is a laptop version. And don't think that's all. The good part is yet to come. Considering the limitations imposed by the processor, I decided to push harder on the video card. So I cranked up the settings to Ultra and activated ray tracing wherever possible, and the results look downright phenomenal. They clearly show the brute power offered by NVIDIA's flagship and the efficiency of the integrated technologies. However, I noticed one ugly thing. With DLSS 2 activated on balanced, in Horizon Zero Dawn I got worse results than before activating the technology. The 95 frames per second in the table are recorded like this, with DLSS 2 activated, but I had stuttering and problems, presumably caused by the weak processor. Without DLSS, I pulled out about 100 FPS, and the overall experience was smoother. Things like this will happen again, but it doesn't change the fact that 95 FPS or 100 plus FPS are results that are hitting the ideal when it comes to this console. And that's not even all. With such a setup, you can easily connect to a TV, link a wireless controller, and you've got yourself a 4K gaming console. Yes, you heard right, at 4K resolution, the combination of the ROG Ally and ROG XG Mobile with RTX 4090 is phenomenal. Once we get past Full HD resolution, the video card stretches its legs and takes all the heavy lifting of the small AMD. And the results, damn! Here it really shows how much DLSS 3 and everything from NVIDIA helps. Remember, 4K resolution, okay? Now, in Cyberpunk 2077, ROG's console offers an average of 65 frames per second, just that the preset used was Ray Tracing Ultra. Of course, This was possible via DLSS 3 with frame generation, but on Ally's small screen it didn't even look like I made any changes to the settings, no stuttering, no popping textures, nothing. It ran smoothly. The same thing happened in Forza Horizon 5, where I cranked everything to Ultra and sped up to 132 FPS. Here the difference was smaller, and without DLSS 3 we already saw a high average of over 100 FPS. But since we have a 120Hz screen, why not give it everything it needs? Finally, I also ran Horizon Zero Dawn at 4K with the Ultimate Quality preset and obtained 91 FPS with DLSS 2 activated and set to balanced. And with that, we finished the series of tests on the ROG Ally. But let's see how the Republic of Gamers console compares to the new ROG Strix Scar 17. The differences are not as severe as I expected, especially at 4K resolution, where the processor has a lesser impact. ROG Strix Scar 17 outperformed ROG Ally plus XG Mobile, but the differences we got are very interesting. 6 frames difference in Cyberpunk, about 14 in Forza Horizon 5, and 5 in Horizon Zero Dawn. That is, the difference is there, and indeed, a laptop with an RTX 4090 laptop comes at around the same price. But for the sake of convenience, the combination of the Pocket PC and the external video card, I believe, is more successful. Why? Because of modularity. Sure, a good gaming laptop is an excellent portable tool, but I think there are more scenarios where I could use a portable console plus an external video card. Of course, this choice must also take into account needs and tastes, but I'm extremely glad that such an alternative to traditional gaming laptops now exists. Let's recap and better understand the matter beyond tests and numbers. Basically, for the money of a good gaming laptop, like this Strix Scar with RTX 4090, you can now have a setup, an ecosystem, which includes a portable console with all the advantages of such a device, that is ergonomics, power, mobility, and an external module with a powerful video card, which can turn this little Ally into a genuine gaming PC. And that besides the fact that the respective module can also be used in conjunction with an ROG laptop that also supports such a connection. So, in conclusion, you can use the ROG Ally both on the go and stationary, and the results are excellent in both scenarios. Not to mention that you don't necessarily need a gaming monitor, since you can connect the small console directly to a TV, or ideally through this accessory with an external video card, in which case you can play 4K at a high frame rate. And since many of today's TVs support 4K 120Hz, we can say that this is already a standard. This combination of an ROG Ally and an XG Mobile seems crazy to me. Now tell me in the comments section, what do you think? What would you choose in the same budget, with the main goal being gaming? A traditional gaming laptop, or this combo of a portable console and an external video card? I can't wait to read your opinions, and it seems to me that we are witnessing the birth of a new species in gaming. That's all for today, and if you're still here, please subscribe to Technicalities. Take care and have a great time playing.